The story opens with Leo, an army officer and war veteran, furiously punching a heavy bag at a gym, clearly struggling with a lot of bottled-up anger. His friend Vic notices that something is wrong and reminds Leo of the time they spent together on the battlefield, when they promised each other they would never give up. He suggests that Leo take some time off and get some rest. Leo blames himself for everything that happened and says he no longer has any reason to live. In the middle of his despair, he asks Vic to get him a gun, showing just how badly he is struggling mentally. Meanwhile, we meet Sam Barkley, a famous actor and model who is at home with his wife, Mira. Mira, completely unaware of her husband's secret affairs and the scandals surrounding him, excitedly tells him that she's pregnant. Sam pretends to be happy and promises that he'll always take care of Mira and their baby. However, it soon becomes clear that Sam is under a lot of pressure from the media because of his reputation and his relationships with different women. He arrogantly talks about his career in the film industry and even boasts about his supposed support for gender equality, despite the fact that his actions clearly say otherwise. Mira, who completely trusts her husband, tells him not to worry about what other people are saying and decides to throw a little celebration that night. But this is just the calm before the storm. After Mira leaves the house for work, Leo shows up at Sam's doorstep. At first, Sam mistakes him for a reporter or some kind of salesman and rudely tries to get rid of him. Leo introduces himself and says that he knows Maya and has come to talk to Sam about her. Sam gets angry and tells him to leave his property. Leo eventually forces his way into the house. Terrified, Sam tries to offer him money to keep him quiet. Once inside, Leo asks Sam if he knows Maya. He hesitates before remembering her as nothing more than a makeup artist who worked on some of his projects. That's when Leo bitterly reveals that he was Maya's husband and that Maya died in a car accident. Shocked by the news, Sam puts on a sympathetic face and offers his condolences. But Leo didn't come there to hear apologies or sympathy. He wants to know the truth about Maya and Sam's relationship, and he expects Sam to answer his questions. Leo explains that he had been away fighting in the war for a year and had only returned home the day before. He knew that Maya had always dreamed of becoming an actress and believed that working as a makeup artist was her way of getting closer to that dream. Leo pressures Sam to admit that he had slept with Maya several times. Sam initially denies everything, insisting that they were just coworkers. He even mocks Leo for having PTSD and tells him that he needs to see a therapist. That pushes Leo over the edge. He beats Sam and points the gun at him, screaming that he wants the truth and that he won't let Sam lie to him anymore. Later, while still threatening Sam, Leo starts eating the food that Mira had prepared for her husband. With a bitter, sarcastic tone, Leo tells Sam that just as he's enjoying the food, Sam probably enjoyed sleeping with his wife, Maya, just as much. Terrified for his life, Sam continues to insist that he never had an affair with Maya and that they were nothing more than coworkers. Leo threatens him, saying that if he doesn't tell the truth, he'll take away the very eyes Sam relies on for his acting career and pour pepper into them. Sam suddenly attacks Leo with a knife, and the two struggle, but Leo overpowers him once again. Then, Leo shows Sam all the evidence he's collected, including messages, conversations, and photos. Sam claims that the pictures Maya had been sending him could simply be public photos of him that anyone could have access to. He insists that they never had any kind of relationship or even a conversation with Maya, and that they only worked together because she was a makeup artist. Leo is still suspicious. He shows Sam the phone number Maya had been using to communicate with him. Sam calls the number, and when his own phone doesn't ring, he claims that the number doesn't belong to him. Then, Sam tries to manipulate Leo by bringing up his war memories and the psychological trauma he suffered in Afghanistan. He tells Leo that he's probably hallucinating and that Maya may have simply been using his name to get attention or make money. But suddenly, the tables turn. Sam grabs Leo's gun. Tired of pretending, he finally confesses in a cold, ruthless tone. "Yeah, I slept with your wife. Happy now?" What Sam doesn't realize is that Leo has been recording their entire conversation. As Sam drinks, he starts humiliating Leo, telling him that he was always away on long military missions and constantly left Maya alone. Sam claims that Maya hated her life with Leo, and that by sleeping with her, he was actually doing Leo a favor. He arrogantly says that Maya wanted to leave Leo, but he stopped her. Then, he adds in an even more condescending tone that because of his position and influence in the acting and modeling industry, Maya couldn't really afford to go against him. If she did, she might never get another job in the business. His words push Leo even further over the edge. The tension inside the house reaches a breaking point. Eventually, Sam tells Leo to leave, but Leo attacks him, brutally beating him before taking the gun back. Just then, Mira, Sam's wife, calls and says she's on her way home. Sam panics and begs Leo to leave immediately, but Leo isn't finished. Leo threatens him, telling him that unless he explains everything, he'll tell Mira the whole truth. Realizing that Leo isn't going anywhere, Sam finally tells Leo everything about his relationship with Maya. He explains how they first met and how he later used his influence to get her an opportunity on one of his projects. He even goes into disgusting and disturbing detail about what happened between them on the dining room table. Flashbacks show how Maya was pressured and manipulated by Sam as he tried to land small roles on TV shows. Sam had used his power and influence to take advantage of her. In the flashbacks, Maya appears lonely and desperate. She had grown tired of Leo's long absences and wanted to start a family, but Leo always seemed to have another excuse. Sam admits that he got Maya drunk and had sex with her while she was vulnerable. Leo calls it a planned act of rape. Sam says that afterward, Maya was consumed with guilt. She saw herself as a terrible person for cheating on her husband, Leo, but Sam showed no remorse. He simply told her that sex was like eating, and no one needed to know about their secret. Then, Leo reveals an even more devastating truth. Maya was pregnant when she died. Sam initially denies it, but Leo shows him the medical examiner's report, proving that the baby was Sam's. In her final voice messages to Leo, Maya had been crying and begging for forgiveness. She confessed that she'd made a terrible mistake and that she was pregnant. She begged Leo to forgive her and said she still wanted them to build the family they'd always dreamed of. Leo painfully explains that Maya had no idea he'd suffered an injury during the war that left him permanently unable to have children. That meant Maya's pregnancy was the ultimate proof of her betrayal and of just how cruel Sam had been. Leo accuses Sam of treating Maya like a piece of meat, and then, once he was done using her, pushing her toward her death. At that exact moment, Mira walks into the house and is confronted with the bloody scene. Sam, badly injured, tries to convince Mira that Leo is insane and doesn't know what he's talking about. He describes Leo as a traumatized soldier who has lost his wife and is desperately looking for someone to blame. But Leo calmly plays a recording. He has recorded Sam's entire conversation. As Mira listens to her husband's voice proudly talking about his affair with Maya and dismissing it as nothing more than a casual encounter, she completely breaks down. The anger and tension between all three of them reach a boiling point. Devastated by Sam's betrayal and the truth about Maya, Mira takes Leo into another room and, in an act of revenge, sleeps with him behind a locked door. Sam's screams and desperate pleas echo throughout the house. The man who thought his power, fame, and money could protect him from any consequences is now forced to face the price of his betrayal. A short time later, Mira picks up the gun and shoots herself. Leo and Sam are both left in shock, and they rush toward the gun. Another gunshot rings out, but the film cuts away at that moment, leaving it unclear exactly what happened and what became of Leo and Sam. The film ends with a sad song about lost souls and love that has been corrupted in the shadows. It's a bleak and brutal story about betrayal, pain, and the devastating price people pay when they break the promises they've made to the ones they love.